kind of being careful with like what I'm saying here because I do have that group of haters that are claiming that I'm supposedly money hungry. But at the end of the day, these are just like fuckers. These are clowns with no lives, and they live very sad lives that are going to be saying a lot of fake news, that are going to be repeating this very big lie about you, even though that you know that it's not true. And yeah, there's stuff like that. I'll be honest, like with the amount of time that I put in, I'm actually making below minimum wage, guys. And my brother, he's rich. He's the entrepreneur. Again, like my older brother, he's really well off, and he's an entrepreneur. And the good news here is that my brother, he's rich, a entrepreneur who does support you. He does support my whole Twitch stuff. Number one, I come from a wealthy family. My mother is a dentist. My father is a engineer. We live in a big house. I have these other streamer friends who don't have the same privilege as me, who don't have rich parents. The funny thing here is now my brother, he's not a millionaire, but he's a 100,000er, and now he became an entrepreneur, and he's been selling stuff online, primarily vintage clothing. So now my brother, this month, I believe he's going to go to like Toronto, and then like later this year he's gonna go to Hawaii, and then like later after that he's gonna go to Japan. I'm like, yeah, shit. Money is always a very important question, because like if you're investing 40, 50, 60 plus hours a week when it's like more than a full-time job, and you're making less than minimum wage, that actually kind of puts things into perspective. And what is it, focus on other things. And so like by the time like I invest more into that other thing, which is more successful, I'm going to be much more willing to gradually drop Twitch altogether.
Here is the full video.
So there's a large form of insecurity that I am having with Twitch. And it's always important for myself to be vulnerable with you guys. And my brother, he's rich. He's the entrepreneur. He's not a millionaire, but he's definitely a 100,000er, and he's doing really well for himself at the age of like 30. And yeah, he was having a conversation with me, being real, and he told me like, yeah, I 100% support you doing Twitch. However, like, how much money are you actually making? And I'll be honest, like with the amount of time that I put in, I'm actually making below minimum wage. Below minimum wage. That's how much I'm making. And like my brother is saying to me, like, Brian, that's my first name. That's my first name. And he, oh my god. Let's see. We already have our bots here, and he was he supports like what I'm doing. He thinks like I'm happy, and he is right. I am spending a extraordinary amount of time streaming on Twitch, right? And the thing here is, it's not making a lot of money. And he knows that I'm a very smart guy, and he knows like how much money that I'm making on the stock market, and like how good my grades were in college. And he says like I'm actually kind of wasting my life by doing this. And to a point, I do agree that I actually am wasting a lot of my time doing this. And in some way it's hard to let go. So like I'm not exactly sure like what is my goal here with Twitch. I mean, is my goal to just to what is it, to get triple digit viewers on Wizard 101? And then question yourself, is it for money or not? I have If I wanted to do Twitch, you should never do Twitch for money. But money is always a very important question, because like if you're investing 40, 50, 60 plus hours a week when it's like more than a full-time job, and you're making less than minimum wage, that actually kind of puts things into perspective. And again, like my older brother, he's really well off, and he's an entrepreneur, and he understands the entrepreneur spirit, because you know before like when he was getting started, he was also struggling, but now he's like that. So he told me, you know, he told me, what is it, let's see, he told me about like having some sort of exit plan. There's like two options that I can see of. Number one, I try and look for ways to dramatically improve my visibility on Twitch, and that's going to require to working really hard, which I'm already doing, and at the same time working really smart. And then number two is for myself to think about having some sort of strategic exit plan, right? And you can, for example, what is it? You can try to slowly transition out of Twitch by gradually reducing your time on it, and then like increasing your time towards other things. For example, actually, you know, what is it? Investing more into the stock market, or the good news here is that my brother, he's rich. He can teach me what he does, or something very similar to it, and I would be making way more money doing that instead. And then by gradually transitioning and gradually reducing my time on Twitch, I'm going to like realize, oh shit, this is actually really is a waste of time. So I guess the reality here is we have to, you know, ask yourself, if you're placing 40, 50, 60, at the very peak, I was literally putting in 100 plus hours a week, right? You know, 12-hour streams, Monday, 12-hour streams, 6 days a week. And then even after my stream, I would still be putting in more hours. And there will come a point where you have to ask yourself, is this actually worth it? Or am I just like, you know, pissing away my money as well as my time? So it's true. So like my brother treated me out, and he told me about this kind of stuff. So yeah, it is true. Because I'm at an age, there is a insecurity that there is a insecurity, for example, like I brought this up like a week ago, that I saw some of my classmates from, you know, high school and college, and they're already wearing their university graduation outfit, right? And the thing here is, like, I could be like that too. I could have graduated last month with my with my computer science degree, and I would have a starting salary of, you know, for example, $50,000 a year, right? So it's interesting, and you know, with my family connections, I'm pretty sure I can make that a lot higher, right? So it's interesting. So yeah, there's this deep insecurity that I've been having, and like, you know, I had a conversation with my brother about it, and he's telling me to like get real, and it kind of hurts. It's kind of like a entrepreneur who does support you. He does support my whole Twitch stuff, but at the same time, he's telling me to get real with what I'm doing. Number one, I come from a wealthy family. My mother is a dentist. My father is an engineer. We live in a big house. Number two, like my family supports me. I have a golden parachute, and you know, I have this extreme privilege to pursue like what I want to do, because if Twitch does not work out, again, I can always just go back to college. I could just finish my last year, and I could always graduate again. I could always graduate with my computer science degree, and be making like $50,000 a year starting salary. So yeah, it's honestly kind of difficult, like when you kind of I'm grateful with what I have, but at the same time there's these deep insecurities that's going inside inside of my head. um so let's see. um but the reality here is that, like, when you actually are inside of like this creative industry, it is a starving artist industry, right? You actually have to be willing to work many hours below minimum wage just to have the potential to hopefully make it big. And I've actually been looking into I've talked to other bigger streamers like off stream, that also stream Wizard 101. And I'm not afraid to go ask them, like, how much money do you make? And they say that it's not enough. It's not enough. And these are people that actually have triple digit viewers. And it actually is kind of disheartening. And then a lot of my streamer friends, they say to me that, yeah, I'm just going to be using Wizard 101 as a stepping stone to transition to like another game. However, the reality here is that again, I was talking to these bigger streamers, and not just, you don't even have to go talk to them. You can just like observe like what they're doing, right? They have triple digit viewers, they play like another game. And but at the end of the day, what is it? At the end of the day, what is it? I forget. Yeah, they have triple digit viewers, but when they transition to like another game, it drops all the way down to like 30 viewers, which is still a lot, but it's not enough to do that. Yeah, Bucky, man, yeah, I feel your pain. We all want to play the game we love, but at the end of the day, we're not going to survive. We don't make any money. And yeah, that is very true. I just have this really comfortable, very extremely privileged position that not a lot of people can afford, because I have these other streamer friends who don't have the same privilege as me, who don't have rich parents, right? Who don't have supportive parents, and like their parents are actually forcing them to not stream, and they're forcing them to go back to school and go get a real job. And that is very important. So yeah, so as of right now, like if you are paying attention, I have like two options. There's likely more options, but as of right now, at the top of my head, there's option one. I can work harder, and I can work smarter, and I'm gonna try and look for ways, because I know I can do it. I have the answers. I just have to execute, and then and look for ways to actually dramatically grow. Which I think, in my opinion, it is not to be found inside of Wizard 101. It's going to be found in other areas, in terms of content creation. And then there's option two. I'm just gonna like very slowly, I'm gonna very slowly, gradually reduce my hours from Twitch, and very slowly, gradually reduce my hours on Twitch, and focus on other things. And so like by the time like I invest more into that other thing, which is more successful, I'm going to be much more willing to gradually drop Twitch altogether. At least to try other games, because right now Wiz has a low viewership. The reality here is that if I were to go play other games, because of the fact that I'm so deeply integrated into Wizard 101, right? I noticed, for example, like when I was still streaming Balloons Tower Defense 6, I would have a very noticeable sharp drop in viewers. So the reality here is you guys are giving bad advice. And I've talked to other bigger Wizard 101 streamers who have triple digit viewers, and they're also saying they're also struggling with and there's also like the reality of, they've also are struggling with trying to transition their audience from like Wizard 101 to like another game. Like for example, like when they play Fortnite, or I don't know, like Minecraft, like, or something completely different, there's just a sharp drop. So it's difficult. And the reality here is that I've only been streaming for a year, and Um, I've only been streaming for a year and a couple months, and 1 year is not enough because their first year is learning the fundamentals of yeah, that is very true. Switching an audience is almost impossible. You have to build around a new audience. And so like I don't like I think like the argument, I think like the suggestion of, oh, just use Wizard 101 or X game as a stepping stone to like another game is very fallacious, right? Like why not just instead use your time that you would use on Wizard 101 for something else, right? Like what if, for example, you were to make like TikTok videos or like comedy skits or talk about like politics or something, or talk about other things you're interested in, and there that you can have like a bigger audience. So yeah, like I have the mind to go tackle these, to go tackle this. So that does leave me optimistic that I can get this resolved. But again, like my brother was being real with me, and I remember like when my brother was because my brother he's only a high school graduate, right? And he was someone who he was someone who had like what, straight C's. He had like a 2.0 GPA in high school, and he almost didn't graduate high school. And now the funny thing here is now my brother, he's not a millionaire, but he's a 100,000er. Like like it's funny how the world works. Like the person who was one of the in like the lower percentile of the graduating class actually became richer than a doctor, right? It's funny how life works. And so like, yeah, my brother was just being real with me. I would be more resistant to listening to him if, for example, if he did not if he just pursued the traditional path of like going to school, right? But the reality here is like, yeah, he was really dumb in high school, and he was struggling in his early young adult years. But he had multiple mentors, and he had multiple jobs, and multiple odd jobs, right? Like he used to work at a train, he used to work selling car insurance, and now he became an entrepreneur, and he's been selling stuff online, primarily vintage clothing. So it's no, it's interesting. And my brother was telling me like, yeah, there's like two different paths, like when it comes to making money. So there's like the traditional method where you go to school, you get a degree, and you get a 9-to-5 job, and that works, right? And then there's like the new method, which is where you become an entrepreneur and you learn how to make money for yourself. It's either for example, you have multiple streams of income, you have multiple streams of income, you sell stuff, you sell products, you sell knowledge, whatever that may be. So yeah, so now my brother this month, I believe he's going to go to like Toronto, and then like later this year he's going to go to Hawaii, and then like later after that he's going to go to Japan. I'm like, yeah, shit. So yeah. So yeah, I'm just letting you know about like what's kind of going on in my mind, and in some way why I decided to go stream a little late, because like my brother, he woke me up around like 9 o'clock in the morning, and like we were chilling until like 1 o'clock, and I don't get a lot of sleep. So by the time I got home, I actually overslept. So that explains that explains things. So yeah, just letting you know, it's important for yourself to be vulnerable with your audience. And I'm actually kind of being careful with like what I'm saying here, because I do have that group of haters that are claiming that I'm supposedly money hungry, but at the end of the day, these are just like fuckers. These are clowns with no lives, and they live very sad lives. And you know, and especially like when you're inside of like the entertainment industry, because you know Twitch is supposed to be part of the entertainment industry. It comes like that's what you sign up for. You like it's expected that you're going to have haters, right? And that are going to be saying a lot of fake news, that are going to be repeating this very big lie about you, even though that you know that it's not true. And yeah, there's stuff like that.